characterization of this movie, regardless of what you want to say, oh, I'm taking my little black girls to go see this because I want them to see Holly, regardless of what your reasons is, when they get in the movie and they sit their butt down, they're having to watch the story of the Little Mermaid. And the story of the Little Mermaid is all about her wanting to be part of the human world because she fell in love with a prince. That's the whole point of the movie. So they're watching the movie, and regardless of what you want to say, you took them to see it, they're watching the movie. They're watching her fall and fawn and pawn after a prince, and it's not a black one.
I just want this thing to last.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be back to making content. It's been about 2 weeks and I hate that because I, love to make a video every single week, but I haven't done that partly because it has been the doom and gloom in Cali. I mean, the weather is so moody and gloomy. I mean, there has not been any sun in Cali for weeks now, which has been the bane of my existence because I love the sun. I love when it's sunny and it's bright outside and I'm just like, yeah, let's go conquer the world. And when it's gloomy, I'm just like, ugh. But, I'm trying to get out of that because even though it's really gloomy today, I don't know if you guys can tell, it's really, really gloomy. I am still in such a great mood and I'm excited to talk about this topic today. But before we get into that topic, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and come on over and don't miss out on, new videos every week. So you're going to want to turn on your post notifications to join the crew. With that being said, so obviously it has been such a huge topic for weeks now, but The Little Mermaid is officially out. I have not seen it. I probably won't see it. And yes, I am making a video about a movie I haven't seen because the topic that I'm talking about, I don't have to see the movie to even talk about and discuss. And that is the issue with whether or not this movie is appropriate to be showing to little black girls or black children and black audiences who are impressionable when there is a lack of black love. Obviously, it is not hard to see that Holly Bailey, who is, this is no offense to her, she is not the owner of Disney, she is not the casting director, but she obviously is, absolutely extremely talented and beautiful, and she is a huge reason as to why this movie is such a success, because black people want to show up and support when we see one of ours in a movie. It's not necessarily the best quality of us as a people because, and the reason is not that it's a bad quality about us, but the reason that this is not such a great attribute for us to have is only because we are supporting movies when we are not the owners and the writers and the directors of these movies. So just because one of us is in it does not mean that it's something that we should support. Deserving are worthy of our support, and then the agendas are usually attached to it because that's why they put, black characters in it, and they don't do us justice. Because for you to put out a movie about a black Little Mermaid, she's a princess, why would you not cast a black prince? Especially when you claim this is for representation. This is, obviously to show little black girls everywhere, that they could be in a princess movie. Why could you not show them that they could have a black prince? It just doesn't make sense. It is not something that we should accept. I have never seen a white princess with anything other than a white prince. I just haven't seen it. I mean, if it exists, please show it to me. I have no acknowledgement of it at all. All I've ever seen is white princesses with white princes. All I've also similarly seen is black princesses with everything else but a black man. I mean, when Brandy played Cinderella, they put her with a Chinese man. And that was the first example of a black princess in the Disney, spectrum that any black child had. And it was so insane to me because why wasn't she with a black prince? And even her mom, Whoopi Goldberg, was with a white man. So you can't even argue that there's not an agenda there because they went out of their way to have them with everything but a black man, and everybody else in the movie was representing it but a black man. So you can't tell me that Disney has a problem presenting black love between a black man and a black woman, especially when it comes to fairy tales and, showing something to children. And just on that basis alone, we should not be supporting Disney and supporting their movies, especially to the degree that black people showed up for Little Mermaid. I mean, y'all decked out your little daughters. You sold out the doll, okay? You decked out your daughters in Little Mermaid attire, bought all the merchandise, the popcorn, the McDonald's movie box with Holly on it. So all of these things are negative, right? And none of these things make us any type of money whatsoever. You took your little black girls to go see this movie, and I get it. You want them to see a black princess. But what they don't see is her with a black prince. Now, you could say that that wasn't what the movie was about, but you can't decide how a child interprets a movie. These innuendos are obviously important enough for Disney, right, to not put it out there. That clearly is something that's huge, right? Because if it's not important and the movie is about Holly, why would you not put a black prince? You can argue that, oh, well, they probably doesn't think it's marketable. Then don't put us in the movie at all. If you're not going to give us what we want, the accurate representation, don't put us in the movie. But this is why representation should never trump ownership. Because when we're begging for representation, and we're like, oh my gosh, we want to see our, our black people, our black women or whatever in these roles. Don't own it. So we get whatever they want to give us. So if we get a black princess and that's what they give us, we can't determine whatsoever they're going to give us a black prince. Because we're not the deciding factor in that, they are. And that's what I don't like. So seeing that as black women and black parents and black moms, the fact that so many still took their little black girls to go see this movie is troubling. And the reason that it's troubling is just because it's the fact that, hello, this is interracial images that you're showing to your little black daughter. I can assure you that white women would have never done the same. Reverse the roles and say that Disney had, chose a white Little Mermaid for this movie, and Black Prince Eric, the movie wouldn't have seen the light of day, because white women would have had so much backlash and they would have literally caused so much chaos that Disney would not have put that movie out. But for our women to just be perfectly fine with this and just be like, okay, we're taking our little black girls to go see Holly and go see this movie, shows that we are not paying attention, that we're not looking at this deep enough. Also, Disney is making so much money. Like I said, they decked out their little black girls and dresses and all the merchandise, and not a penny is going to help our community in any way, shape, or form. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Because why are we doing this? It's like nothing about this is beneficial. And it's like, obviously, Holly is beautiful and talented, but Holly can be beautiful and talented in stuff that represents us in a great light, that represents black love in a great light, and is something that's black owned, most importantly and foremost, in a black movie with a black, owned movie network, and that put out our own characters. Also, The Little Mermaid, the way y'all are going so hard for this movie is so inspiring. Oh my gosh, these little black girls can grow up and be the Little Mermaid one day. No, they can't. Why do y'all keep saying stuff like that? Mermaids don't exist. Y'all didn't even go this hard for Hidden Figures. And that was a movie about actual real black scientists. But y'all are going so hard behind a non-existent little fish. It is really hard for me to get up and wrap my mind around. I don't understand it. And it's something that I feel like, yes, we need representation. I'm not saying representation isn't important, but white people have representation. They're not complaining about representation because they own it. They can represent themselves as much as they want in any way that they want. We're begging for representation because we don't own anything. And to see our people literally talking about, oh my gosh, we have to get this movie to $1 billion, it perplexes me. Because like I just said, This movie is supporting interracial images. It will not, this is a company that will not show you a black man and a black woman to your children. Come on. I mean, at what point do we say this is ridiculous? So you want to get this movie to $1 billion with a company that clearly has an agenda against black love. Clearly, very obviously. But also, when you get them to $1 billion because you want to show that Holly, you know, obviously can be marketable around the globe and black people are marketable, after that's all said and done, you don't get any money. Your community doesn't benefit from this at all. All you get is a clap and a cheer in the audience and this placebo of making it in white spaces. That's it. That's all you get. Like, oh yeah, we can be the face of Disney. Okay, and then what? Disney run off to the bank. They're going to go build up their communities and their wealth. And you're going to be left with nothing. So, this is no offense to Holly. She's beautiful. She's talented. She's amazing. But this is more of a sort of just kind of a temperature check of our people in our community. Because I don't think, and let me tell you right now, other races would not do this. If Mulan was casted in a live action movie and, you know, the person who played, I can't even remember the name of her love interest, but he was also Chinese, was black, they wouldn't go see it. They wouldn't be showing up and showing out like y'all are. No other race seems to have this problem. Like, if it's not their race, okay, showing love of their race with each other, they don't want to see it. But for us, it's just like, oh my gosh, Disney, thank you for this representation. It's like, what is going on with us to where we don't see where this is a huge problem? Like I said, black little girls to go see this. It's crazy to me. I would never, I don't have children, but my little black girl, she wouldn't be going to go see this movie. One, because mermaids don't exist. Obviously, the biggest reason is because the whole point, characterization of this movie, regardless of what you want to say, oh, I'm taking my little black girls to go see this because I want them to see Holly, regardless of what your reasons is, when they get in the movie and they sit their butt down, they're having to watch the story of the Little Mermaid. And the story of the Little Mermaid is all about her wanting to be part of the human world because she fell in love with a prince. That's the whole point of the movie. So they're watching the movie, regardless of what you want to say you took them to see it, they're watching the movie. They're watching her fall and fawn and pawn after a prince, and it's not a black one. That's not worth it to see, in my opinion. And it's certainly not worth to be giving Disney all this money. I mean, what would be the problem with casting a black prince? They have no issues casting other races in that way. And Disney has been doing this for a long time, like we just said, Cinderella with Brandy. But then when you finally get an animated princess movie, Lord, you know, y'all have been talking about how bad y'all wanted that for the longest. Princess Tiana, she also was not with a black prince. I Googled it. Disney said that it's not a white man, but it's not a black man either. Why? I mean, why is she not with a black man? I mean, she didn't even have a black best friend. Her best friend was a white girl. But this is like what I said. I mean, we don't get to choose our stories when we're begging for representation from other people. And that's a problem. So I don't support this movie. Needless to say, I support Holly. I support all of our people. But, you know, just because our people are talented does not mean that they use our talents for our benefits. It's clear to see that Disney does not have any intentions of showing black love to us. And, you know, we shouldn't even want it from them. We should be wanting to, like I said, have our own, you know, networks, our own, you know, scripts and our own stories, and be paying much more attention, put way more backing onto those. We shouldn't even be like, oh, Disney, give us a crumb, give us representation. But the way black people have been showing up and showing out for this movie is wild to me. And so, you know, the fact that Dr. Umar came out and said that, I was already thinking it. But Dr. Umar did come out and say, you know, why would you would you show this to black children? It doesn't really make any sense. To me, this is worse than Black Panther, because at least Black Panther was black love. I mean, it was a black man with black women, and they had love for their people. Of course, there was little discrepancies in the movie, and it wasn't a movie owned by us. So, you know, after Black Panther was said and done, we didn't really get too much from it besides, you know, a feeling of enjoying the movie and feeling like, oh yeah, we saw black love on the screen. But, you know, we weren't left with anything after that. But in this situation, it's like, there's really no equity here. Also, in Black Panther, you know, you got black pride, you saw black people with, you know, intelligence, and you saw them with the little was it called uranium, I believe, and you know, you saw black people in power. Like, there was actual real images and pride that you could take away from that, and you could actually relay that some way to real life about, you know, how black people really do have this this heritage, this power, you know, and how our unity can really truly get us somewhere. So there was something good to be taken from that movie. With Hidden Figures, there was something good to be taken from that movie. Literally, the black scientists, that was a true story, and it showed black women in such a great light, but they were also married. All of them had black men. So it was also great. The Little Mermaid, which black people have supported a whole lot. I wouldn't say as much as Black Panther, but they have been like on social media arguing with white people about this movie for so long. It's crazy. But The Little Mermaid, there's just no equity in this movie. Mermaids don't exist. It's not like Hidden Figures, Black Scientists. It's not like, you know, Black Panther. Obviously, a Black Panther doesn't exist. But the unity and the black love and the heritage, the culture, all of that's real. There's absolutely nothing to take from Little Mermaid. There's just nothing. She's not real, and she's pawning after a prince that's not even black. So it's just like, what are we putting all this effort and energy into this movie for? I just don't understand it. As soon as we saw this movie and it wasn't black on black love, we should have just been like, we don't want this. Don't put this in our face. And you're not about to take our little black girls to go and see this. That's just my opinion. That's how it should have went down. Also, but I mean, the movie's out now, and it's doing relatively well at the box office domestically. Apparently, it's not doing too well globally. You know, it did $2.5 million in China, which is really, really low. And people around other countries are, you know, bombing the reviews of this movie because of a black mermaid. And that's really why black people really showed up and showed out for this movie. I think it's because so many, you know, racist people were like, we don't want to see a black princess movie. And to be honest with you, okay. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have hurt us, them not going to go see this movie because of a black woman leading it. And the idea that it would just hurt Disney, because Disney would have wasted money and they wouldn't have been making any money if we didn't see it and people around the world didn't see it. Obviously, we know black people are marketable around the world because the world emulates our culture and our talent and our artists all the time. So the fact that they didn't want to see a black mermaid that doesn't exist is not something that we should pick up our pitchforks and go into war over, especially because it's not even a black prince. So the moral of the story is that if they're not going to show black love, and if this is not something that we own and that we're producing, it's not something that we should be bothered with. The thing that bothers me is that black people and black women especially, are going so hard in the paint behind this movie. It's like, you can support Holly in many different ways. This just wasn't the way. I mean, we should never stand for taking little black girls out to go see a movie where the prince isn't black. I don't want to see a black woman winning without a black man. And I don't want to see a black man winning without a black woman. Because if we don't win together, we don't win at all. And that's the problem. And that's why we shouldn't be seeing this. Because there's so many facets in media all the time that they're trying to show division between black men and black women. And now, not even now, and they've been marketing interracial images to black children. And it's not something that we should ever support. But okay, that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I know a lot of people think it's not that deep, but it absolutely certainly is. It's clearly that deep for Disney, to the fact that they won't show you a black man and a black woman in, you know, children's movies. Like, clearly it's a problem. And it's clearly that deep for them, so it should be that deep for us. So I want to know what you guys' thoughts are, of course. I'm so excited to be back on YouTube. Like I said, do not forget to turn on your post notifications for new videos every single week. I'm kind of sticking on this topic a little bit for the next video. We are going to be talking about The Color Purple. They have the audacity to be doing a remake of this movie, which goes into my point of the fact that they're always trying to show images that divide black men and black women, but this particular movie is so insulting that they're going to remake. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that in the next video, and I will see you guys then. Don't forget to like, comment, and let me know what you guys think. Share this to your family and friends if you think they'll be interested, and I'll see you guys in a few days. Bye, guys.